As we kick off 2026, let's take a look at some of the best choices of ham, analog, FM handheld transceivers from the past year. 2025 had a whole slew of new offerings, and here are some of my favorites. If you're looking to buy a ham HT here in early 2026, here are a handful of budget class and a couple of premium class HTs you should be considering. A couple are carryovers from last year's list, and several were new releases in 2025. Of the radios we'll discuss, I have used and reviewed all of them. One common annoyance among the Baofeng models is signal purity in the 2-meter band. With the exception of the UV5R Mini, they all seem to suffer from this fault to one degree or another, so I won't mention it separately. Baofeng has released several new radios in 2025 that I haven't included in this list, as they are all similar, differing primarily only in their handset styling. I have reviews on each of these radios here on the Gadget Talk channel, so I encourage you to check them out for a more comprehensive look. As we get started, if you find this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel if you haven't already. There are join and thanks buttons below the video too. Let's jump to the computer and take a look at these radios by reviewing their respective sales pages online. So let's start this off with the Radioddity GA5-WB. Now this radio is the same as the VRN76 and also a BTEC radio. They're all the same, they run the same firmware, they work the same, and these have been very popular here in 2025. It's a 5-watt radio with VHF and UHF bands, plus it has GPS as well as some APRS functions. It's got Bluetooth programming from an app, as you see here, and the app is really quite good. It has airband, it's IP67 waterproof, which is about the highest rating available, not quite, but just about, and a large 2600 milliamp hour USB-C chargeable battery. This is a really cool little radio that I really enjoy using. If we look at some of the marketing photos here, we can see that we've got a variety of features here. It's got FM radio, it's got airband, it's rechargeable, Bluetooth, it's got app programming for both iOS and Android. It's got a fairly large screen, 1.7-inch color screen that is very pleasant. It's got the ability to share data in terms of GPS and APRS. You can link this up with the app, and that gives you some ability to add to the APRS capability. The radio is IP67 waterproof, as I've mentioned already, and then it has a variety of buttons and so forth. So here's the Type-C charging, K1 connector, side keys that are programmable, the GPS receiver here, as well as an SMA for the antenna. So all in all, this is a very nice little radio with a lot of features. And right now, as you can see, Radioddity has it with a bundle at a real bargain. So it's got like $50 off, $40 off, plus push to talk, a stand, and a little booklet that they'll give you via an ebook. So this is one that you really need to consider if you're getting tired of those budget class radios. It costs a little bit more, but you're getting quite a lot more with this radio. Next on our list is also from Radioddity. You can also find these on Amazon, sold by Baofeng, but it's the Baofeng UV-7B. And this is a fairly new radio. It was released late in 2025. It's app programmable. It's got that 1.77-inch color display. You can receive the NOAA weather channels as well as airband. It's got 1,000 channels available to you. It's rechargeable via USB-C, as are all the radios on my list, as well as that 1-key frequency copy. So this is a fairly nice radio. It's, as you can see, it's very attractive with the blue case. You can program the radio via the app. You can program it via chirp. the keypad on the radio itself, and then you can download a CPS to your Windows computer if you would prefer. It has the NOAA weather reception and scanning for when you're out and about. It's got AM airband reception as well as the USB-C charging. And then it comes in a variety of sets where you can get different configurations in terms of antennas, extra antennas, microphones, and so forth, depending upon what it is that you need. As with all of the Baofeng radios at this price point here at just over $30, 2 meters can be a little dirty. So I'd invite you to watch the review here on the channel of this radio to see the degree to which that might be a problem for you. Next, we've got the Radioddity GS-10B 8-watt radio, and this is a multi-band transmit and receive. It's got a Bluetooth app programmability, dual PTT color display, USB-C to the battery, all of that good stuff. This has got a little bit higher power output. Here it's describing it as a 10-watt radio. Here it's describing it as an 8-watt radio. This is probably a little closer up there, but it allows you to transmit in the 70 centimeters, 2 meter, and the 1.25 meter bands, as well as airband, FM, and the NOAA weather channels. So this is a pretty capable little radio. It's got Bluetooth wireless programming as well as a large 2500 milliamp hour battery. So this is a really pretty nice radio. With some of the other photos here, we can see the size. So it's what you would call kind of a full-size HT. It's rugged. It feels good in the hands. It can come with a variety of accessories depending on what you're looking at. It's got the higher power than the typical 5-watt radio. It's got some noise reduction capability to digitally pull out the background noise when you're talking on your radio. It's got the primary transmit bands to include 1 meter, which isn't really available in the U.S., and 1.25 meter, which isn't really available outside the U.S., plus airband as well. So the Radioddity GS-10B is an interesting little radio that you should probably consider if you're looking to add to your collection of HTs. It's a little more expensive than some, but that's because of the higher power output. Now, one of the real market killers this year in 2025 has been the Baofeng UV-5R Mini dual band radio. It has a couple of power outputs, 5 watts or 2 watts. You can program it via an app. It comes in a variety of colors. When I got mine, it was only available in gray, but it's now available in that transparent quartz type or in a red amber color. It's got a 1.44-inch color screen, which sounds like it's smaller than those other radios, and it is, but the radio is much smaller. It's got 999 channels, NOAA weather reception, USB-C charging, and so forth. I was just at a ham radio campout, and everybody I talked to had one of these in their pocket. It has just been a market killer. One of the reasons is that this radio from Baofeng, unlike most of their other budget class radios, has a clean signal in the 2 meter range. And so hopefully they're going to be able to duplicate that in their other radios because this was a pleasant surprise to put this on the Tiny SA and discover that it is a 2 meter clean radio. It's small, it's compact, it fits in your hand nicely, and it's just a really cool little radio, evidenced by the fact that everybody I bumped into was carrying one of these. We look at some of the images here. We can see the app programming, USB chargeable, flashlight, multi-band to include NOAA and the weather channels, and then 99 channels programmability in the radio itself. The display is quite nice, as you can see, and for the size of the radio, it's in proportion, and so it just looks like a nice little radio. It's got dual PTTs on the side, as well as when you buy this at $46 here on the Radioddity site right now, it comes with 2 of everything. So it comes in pairs. And so whether you're getting this on Amazon through Radioddity, through Baofeng, or on the Radioddity site, it's going to come in a 2-pack, which is really, really handy. Now changing up a little bit, we're going to move to the TID Radio brand. And this is the TID Radio H3. And the Baofeng UV-5R Mini really came into the market to compete with the H3. The H3 Plus is their latest version. It's about $30, and it is also a very small radio. The Baofeng UV-5R Mini is a couple of millimeters smaller, but they're very similar in size. This radio has got the typical buttons, you know, turning on the Bluetooth menu, memory, and VFO mode, and so forth. And then it has a number of key features. We'll look at those here. So it's got the 8 bands, including the air band. It can do wireless frequency copy. You can import via the OD Master app nearby repeaters, although I found that's a little sketchy in that app right now. It can use the app to do a global, what they call intercom, which is more like the push-to-talk over cellular kind of thing, using your phone as the gateway into those various other users, as well as wireless programming via the PC and so forth. As you can see, the display is really nice. And from the very beginning, I really liked the way TID Radio laid out their radios. I've been working with TID radios since the original H8, and these are just nice displays that are a little bit different than the typical display. Colorful, you can make changes using the color menus and so forth. It has the ability to send and edit text, so you have a lot of capability here, as well as the ability to not only listen to broadcast FM, but also the airband. And then why you'd want to, I'm not sure, but you can, because this connects via Bluetooth, use the radio as a wireless Bluetooth speaker. The radio speakers are kind of small, low wattage. In a pinch, they would give you broader coverage than just using the phone speaker. So it's probably not the strongest advantage of this little radio, but it's an interesting capability nonetheless. Since we're talking about TID radio, let's talk about the TID radio H8 third generation. Now, a couple of things to call to your attention here. The third generation is the third generation, and they've made some changes, which I'll point out to you here in just a second. The other thing is to point out that while I'm not including it in this list, they released the H9 in early January of 2026. So that'll be one to think about for next year. The third generation TD-H8 has these features, and it will interact interestingly with the H3. Not the H3 Plus, but the H3. So there's the ability to interact with that radio a little bit. As with other TID radios, it uses the OD Master app. It's got 8 frequencies, weather. It's got the ability to use a power on keystroke sequence to change the radio's mode from GMRS to ham to unlocked. It's got that app frequency. And then it has, different from the H3, since it's a bigger radio, this one is a 10-watt radio. And so it runs from 7 to 8, 9 watts instead of the typical 4 or 5 watts of lower powered radios. So in this slide, it shows kind of the differences between the second gen H8 and the third gen. The main one being key frequency match. This is the one touch frequency match, plus wireless replication, which is really kind of handy. This is not just matching a frequency, but this is pairing the two radios together and copying all the variables from the H8 third generation to another H8. Here's an expanded view of that little bubble chart that we just looked at. Then it's got the ability to program the radio via OD Master, Chirp, the CPS programming software that you can download from TID Radio, as well as, of course, on the radio's faceplate. I've been using the H8 since a pre-release version of the H8 a couple of years ago, and it's a very nice radio. I just had the H9 delivered, and so I'll be working on a review for that here coming up shortly. Next on our list is from Retevis or Retevis, you may hear it. This is the HA2 radio. Now the HA2 has Bluetooth programming, it's got dual ham band radio, it's got GPS and APRS in this radio as well. This is an upgrade from the HA1, which I have. It looks kind of like the HA1 with that typical case. The screen type, as you can see here, is a little bit different than the typical one, which also means this is a little easier to see in bright sunlight. Here are a couple of the features in this radio in their marketing page. It's got the GNS or GPS. It's got APRS capability in it. You can use a phone app to set it up, and it's IP67 protected. It's got an app for programming and managing the radio. Here's that water protection that I've mentioned before. It will provide you with APRS ability to track yourself, as well as give you a compass display of where it is you are. Now, with APRS, with all of these radios, it's important to do a little bit of research. Some of them have more complete sets of APRS functionality than other, so make sure that you read about it, maybe watch some reviews to make sure that you're getting what it is you're hoping to get. It's got airband reception. It's got a big battery, 2,800 milliamp hour battery, plus a lot of adjustability. So that's the HA2 that's new from Retevis, the upgrade to the HA1. Another radio from Retevis is the Retevis HA1UV. This made the list last year. It came out in late 2024. It's got a 5-watt IP67 waterproof score, plus dual push-to-talk buttons on this radio as well. This one is very nice. It's the ham equivalent to the HA1G GMRS radio. And so it's got a lot of really cool features, to include the large 2,800 milliamp hour battery, being waterproof and quite customizable. Here's a close-up of the screen, and you can see it's a color screen, various shades of blue and black and white. It's got pop-ups that show up on the screen when you're transmitting, so you know you're transmitting and what channel you're transmitting on. As you can see, it's a 2-meter and 70-centimeter radio. It's waterproof. It's got a backlit keyboard, so it's easy to manipulate the radio at night. As with most of these small HTs, it's got an alarm as well as a low battery alert. And so the HA1UV is a nice choice if you want to spend just a little bit more at about $60 for a rugged, waterproof radio that still technically, at least in my mind, falls into that budget category. Now, transitioning out of the budget category, let's take a look at the KG-935H. This is the same radio as the Wouxun KG-935G GMRS radio. And so, as you can see here, it's a tri-bander with 2-meter, 1.25 meter, and 70 centimeters. In terms of radio coverage, it has a lot of features that duplicate that GMRS version. So it's 999 channels, it's tri-band. Those are the frequency ranges there, 144 to 148 in transmit, 222 to 225, and 420 to 450 in the UHF bands. It can receive FM broadcast. It'll receive NOAA weather, plus a neat feature, it will also receive NOAA weather alerts, which is a little bit different. It'll just bring up the alerts for the area where you happen to be. It has 4 different weather alert. It's repeater capable. In the ham version, it's crossband repeat, so you can set this up to receive in the 2-meter band and transmit in the 440 band, or the other way around if you have the need to do that. It can transmit at up to 8 watts of power, and then it has just a lot of these things, to include customizable screens for the screen displays, and as well as just a number of other features that make this a very popular and very powerful mid-range ham radio here at about $150 from buytwowayradios.com. Now I'm going to shift a little bit to a couple of radios that are a little different than the typical ham radio. The first one is the Radtel RT-880, and this also has the RT-880G with GPS. These are 10-watt radios that are dual banders with UHF and VHF, plus it has the ability to receive in AM, upper sideband, lower sideband, CW, long wave, medium wave, short wave, all of these in what is essentially a second radio bundled in the case with the ham HT. So with a keystroke, you can reset the radio to go down into the HF bands, use a secondary antenna here where this little knob is. It's not a channel knob, it's an antenna cover. And so you can select a SMA connector and use a long wire or an MLA 30 antenna to get shortwave reception as well as AM reception in the medium wave here in this radio. So this is a really interesting radio. It's nice, it's got a good feel to it, and if we look down here, it's got 3 display areas instead of just 2. 1, 2, 3. It has a very nice appearance. It's easily readable. And so it's a really nice radio if you want to try to put together a ham analog HT together with an HF receiver. And that's really kind of a cool thing. I've got a review of this on the channel, and I invite you to take a look at that. The next one that we're going to look at is very similar, and this is the RT-950 Pro. It comes in a number of colors, including black and green and so forth. It's about $85, so it's a little bit more expensive. It's got 10 watts of power, as you can see here, and it has the expanded frequency range as well to include those shortwave bands, the medium wave bands, and long wave bands, as did the RT-880. And then with GPS, this has the ability to share GPS data. It has some basic GPS and APRS capability, as you can see in this display. It also has basically a waterfall type chart or spectrum analysis chart display, so you can set up the range of your reception, and then you can visually see where there is activity in the band that you have selected. It can quick copy from other radios as well. So this is another very interesting radio that's a little bit different from that typical ham radio, which has essentially a second radio in the case, which allows you to do radio reception in the AM, FM, upper sideband areas of shortwave, long wave, and medium wave. So that's my review of the ham HTs for 2025. Whether you're a new ham or whether you're just trying to add to your collection of HTs, these radios are radios that you should take a look at. 2025 saw a large number of new budget class HTs released. As I mentioned before, I've used all of these radios and they do a good job. I believe you'd be pleased with their overall performance. I've got affiliate links in the description below and coupon codes that may get you a discount when purchasing using the link or the code. Feel free to leave a comment if you've got another radio you think should be on the list. Again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. 73, and have a great 2026.